Back again, Connor. Back again.
Back once again with the Renegade Master. What's up? Remember that?
I remember that. That's a classic
I wish
joke.
I didn't remember that disgusting video that got posted on the Doctor Who YouTube account. Blah.
Once again, it's the Renegade Master.
Oh my
Classic.
god. Just starting this episode off with pain and misery.
Yeah, we're here to make you feel really sad about Doctor Who.
Well, it's a pretty sad episode,
single
to be fair.
week. It is a pretty sad episode. I'm interested to see what you think of it because I know you were never a fan of it.
Yeah, I know. That is so true.
Yeah,
I was so interested to see what I think because it was notoriously like my least favorite episode of season 4. One of my least favorite David episodes when I was a kid. Don't know why.
Wow,
but it was.
I'm interested. To see how this went down.
I was interested to see too.
How have you been?
Yeah, I've been good. I've been doing my diet for a week now, so I'm feeling pretty good about that. I lasted a week. I really want to keep doing it this year, and I'm going to start incorporating fitness in slowly. But I know myself so well. I know if I just do it all at once, I'll end up bloody going back to my normal habits, which are not healthy at all. You should have seen me last year; it was not good. So I decided I want to be a bit healthier because I didn't feel too happy last year, and I want to change that, and I want to be the best I can be. And but so far, it's been going good. I'm trying to find a good balance of it. One thing I've noticed is that because I've cut so much sugar and fat out, especially my sugar, I've been feeling quite low. So I've been trying to have a little bit here and there, but again, I'm trying to be harsh on myself and not have sugar, which is what I would normally do because I had a really bad sugar craving all the time. So it's okay to cut most of it out, but I need to be a bit less harsh on myself and have some sugar here and there because otherwise I'm going to be tired as fuck like I am today. But it's been going good.
Yeah.
I also had a beer Olympics. Aiden played as GB, Team GB.
That's fun.
Yeah, I became second, which I think is bullshit because if they had a photo finish, then they would see that we won. But it is what it is. I let
You're
the
just a sore loser.
win. Nah, I wouldn't say that. No, because you know Meg.
We
were
saw
down
it in our quiz section.
What? What do you mean?
When we did our quiz section in season 2, we saw you.
Okay. I'd like to think I'm not. I'd like to think I'm not because, like I said, I like I said on the show before, I used to see this girl and she was like a real sore loser and it would really piss me off. So I like to think I'm not, but I'm just saying, you know, Meg from your group, we were down in a cruiser so you could finish it first, and I finished before her, and everyone was like, nah, she won, and I was like, oh, come on, that's not true. But I've got this.
You got what? I'm waiting.
I got this, though. The old silver medal for the audio listeners, because there isn't any visual. I got a silver medal, so hey, it's better than nothing.
It costs like 50 cents.
I think a pack of 3, which was bronze, silver, and gold, was like $4.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? It's real gold. Silver, sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm swell. I'm vibing. Just
Vibing hard.
hanging out, ready for a shoot that I start. Got a week of night shoots coming up tomorrow.
How fun.
Tomorrow onwards. So that's fun. We're doing like 5:30 p.m. call times, or 5:15 or something like that, and then we'll be going through till about 1 a.m., between 1 and 3 a.m. on most nights. So that is so much fun. I can't wait.
Yeah, your body clock's going to be all over the shop.
I took work off because I'd usually start work at 5 a.m. So like it's like if I would finish at 3 and then I guess go home and go to work. So I was like, fuck that. So I book it off. And especially because I'm an AD, when I'm not shooting, there's some stuff I have to do as well, like writing up call sheets and things like that. So I've got most of it pre-prepared, but on a day-by-day basis, that kind of thing kind of changes quite a lot, like shoot times when everyone needs to come to set. That's sort of all what I have to organize and things like that.
Sweet.
So like I make that the shooting schedule and things. So that kind of stuff can change. Like if we don't get everything done one night, then the following night we have to, pick up the stuff that we didn't get done the night before. So all the schedule is constantly in flux, and that is just amazing, and I love it.
Makes your life so much easier.
Help. It does.
That's great, man.
Anyways, I guess the reason I'm in that field, and the reason you're in that field as well, is because of this show. Because Doctor Who taught us all about the good and the bad of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm. It taught us how to love.
Wowie.
It really did.
It did. Oh, Russell. He got us hooked.
He did. Russell got us
hooked on a horrendous career.
God bless him. I love Russell so much.
Anyways, yeah, so today we're going to be talking about The Fires of Pompeii, which is Season 4, Episode 2. Mm-hmm. Me and Connor have always had differing opinions on it.
That is true.
It's going to be interesting. Shall we go into our intro, Connor?
Of course. Let's do it. Hit it.
Let's go.
50% podcast.
So back in business, like I said, Season 4, Episode 2, The Fires of Pompeii.
Boom.
I'm going to repeat myself in reading this paragraph now. The Fires of Pompeii is the second episode of the fourth series of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who. It was broadcast on the BBC One on the 12th of April 2008, set shortly before and during the eruption of Mount Vesuvius in AD 79. This episode depicts alien time traveler the Doctor, David Tennant, and his new companion Donna Noble, Catherine Tate, on a trip to Pompeii, where they uncover an alien invasion. Their clashing worldviews present an ethical dilemma for the Doctor. Dun dun dun!
That is true. They do have clashing views.
It's got all the makings of a good episode right there. The big question is, did they pull it off, Connor? Did they pull it off?
Did they stick the landing? Who knows?
Bum bum bum. I don't know. Knows? You tell me, Connor, as you make our way through the episode. Shall we go from the top?
Let's do it. Let's go from the top.
I love it.
So it starts in the market, and Doc thinks they're in ancient Rome, which always makes me laugh because we even saw with Jodie's Doctor in the last episode, the Doctor was just terrible at landing the TARDIS or flying it. Has the Doctor ever been good at going anywhere, considering it's literally all he does?
There's a quote somewhere in the show. I think it's in a Matt Smith episode. It might be in The Doctor's Wife or something when he actually talks to the TARDIS.
That's right.
But there's a thing, and it's like, you don't always take me where I want to go, but you take me like where I need to go. So I like to think that the Doctor's like, I'm doing Italy this week. Let's go to ancient Rome. And then the TARDIS is like, hold on, we've got a bit of an issue over here. So let's just take you to Pompeii and see what happens. That's how I like to think it works. That's my headcanon.
I like it. Headcanon always works. And I like how they land and they're like, what the hell? How am I even how am I here? Is this it? This is awesome. We're going to see Donna's first reaction to traveling in the TARDIS, like for real this time. Also, we had a bit in Runaway Bride, but this is actually for real this time. And I always love how they explain the whole, how the TARDIS translates to English and how they're talking a different language right now, which always set me as a kid. And I really like how Donna, kind of remind me of Bill, because Donna asked a very Bill question where she was like, so what if I actually say something in the language? And it's like, good point. I always thought would probably just come out as it would if you're talking English. But it's a good question still. And her dad gets mentioned, a quick little mention to Jeffrey Noble, because she says that my dad used to come back from football and say this, this, and this. So she goes up to the bloke and is like, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, uh-oh, I do not speak your lingo. And I was like, that's pretty funny. And of course, we get to see there's two actors in this episode who later have huge roles, especially one person. We get to see Karen Gillan, and we get to see good old Daddy Pete. Unbelievable. There's two big Doctor Who actors in here. And of course, they're now Hollywood superstars. We've got fucking Karen Gillan in all sorts. Guardians, the shit Jumanji movies. And we got Daddy Pete in Suicide Squad. He's in Paddington. Look at the man go. So did that kind of send you as a kid? Because it always sent me when Karen got casted. They're like, but she's been in Doctor Who before. And I was like, where? Because she's kind of covered up with makeup and stuff. All the paint all over her face. So I didn't notice it was her. Did you know she'd been in it before?
Yeah, I knew she had, but it was one of those things where I was like, yeah, her face is so different, and her voice is so different in it.
I know. That is
true. What the fuck is that voice she does? It's so spooky.
Yeah, it's kind of like this. Yeah, I can't describe it, but it's definitely not Scottish, which I know is an actor doesn't have to play. Being an actor means you can't really be yourself normally, so it doesn't really surprise me that she changed her voice. But that is crazy. And of course, we get to see the I believe they call like the sisterhood or some shit. The sisters and fucking
the sibling sisterhood or something like that.
Yeah, which is my least favorite part of the episode, to be honest. I'd never liked that.
Totally.
Stuff. But we come back and we get to see that they are in fact in Pompeii because we get to see the volcano.
Yeah.
And there's this hell cheesy line and go on.
Have you always thought that shot of the volcano looks pretty shit? Like, I feel like this episode has some really great VFX in it for 2008, but for some reason that still shot of the volcano and the little bits of smoke coming out of the top just always has looked really shit to me.
Yeah, I try and give them a little bit of a pass, but
yeah,
did that cross my mind? Yes, it did. It definitely did.
Yeah.
And there's just
Pompeii.
Yeah, literally.
Volcano Day.
Yes. I don't know if that's a call back to the empty child because the doctor says that a few times in there and Jack says it too or some shit.
Oh yeah.
But although I actually did like the direction of this episode, I thought it was well directed once again. I hated that line and I hated like the zoom. It was like hella cheesy. It was like, we're in Pompeii and it's Volcano Day, and then the credits.
I love it. I love it. I'm not gonna lie.
I know because you said you loved the opening. And I'm like, okay.
How good. The immediate thing that jumps out to me at the start of this episode is just the absolutely insane production design.
I was gonna say, like, yeah, it's brilliant.
Holy fuck! I did some digging, and there's a reason why it's so good.
Yes, I know as well. Yeah, but we'll wait for that.
Ooh. Yeah, that's just fucking sick, man. Like I was watching it and was like, damn, this seriously looks like Rome. I wonder why. Who
knows why? Well,
we'll save that for behind the scenes.
Well, yeah, I know. Like, yeah, you're not wrong. And I do love, we get our first little clash with the Doctor and Donna, which happens quite a lot for this episode, which in my opinion is the highlight of this episode when they have their clashing opinions. I love this. I think it's amazing. And the thing is, though, what's so good about this is like you sympathize with both sides because the Doctor has his duties, but also you relate to Donna because you're like, well, holy fuck, if I was in this situation, how could I not see all these people and kids and families and just people trying to get on with their lives and make money and just have a good life and not feel terrible. We had their first little clash. Yeah. And, of course, Aiden, we get to see the scene where, so the bloke sells the TARDIS to, am I saying this right? Is it a Cornelius? Cornelius? Yes.
Yeah, that's, no, is it Corselius?
Corselius, that's it.
Something like that.
Something like that. Good old Peter Capaldi himself, a huge Doctor Who fan who finally got rid of his dream and eventually become the Doctor. Oh, God. Modern art! I always love that
Modern art!
Modern art! Literally, the Doctor's like, who would buy this? Modern art!
Do you think that when Pete was like working with David, he was just sat there like, I want your fucking job. Give me your fucking job. Like, just hella salty Pete.
I reckon he would have been on the set and been like, this is my dream come true. It's such a shame I can only do like one episode, but I'll just enjoy it while I do. And he's really good in it.
He is great.
I never really again, like, I never revisit this episode. But we get to see little rock man underneath the
little rock man, rock boy.
Yeah, again, it's all this stuff that lets the episode down because it has some really cool scenes, especially the one where that bloke comes in who's like one of the It's like a not really a fortune teller, but he gets like visions and stuff, just like the daughter and all that. And there's a scene, it's full of Dutch angles. It looks so fucking sick, and the lighting changes. It's when like the volcano is shaking. It's like Gallifrey gets mentioned, and London gets mentioned, and something on your back gets mentioned, and Rose gets mentioned because it's like someone's returning. And I'm like, bruh,
she's returning.
Like,
I love
crazy.
He talks about the Medusa Cascade, which obviously comes back. and just like, oh, it's so tense, and the way the performances are so good. Like the way that he's like reading the girl, and then he's like, man from Gallifrey, and then it shifts to the Doctor, and you're like, good. Oh fuck,
because I totally forgot about that. I totally forgot, and I was like, yeah, this guy's bullshit. Hey, like, and then amazing, boom, though. that Gallifrey line just hits hard. It's like Girl from London. Yeah. We get it gets with such a callback. It obviously foreshadows the final heats because it says something on your back, and we get to see that she is returning and stuff. And I do believe later on in the episode, you find out that the planet is gone, that the rock creatures lived on, which of course relates to the planets going at the end of the season. And I think I forgot to say last week. That's it, yeah. I forgot to say last week as well, because we get to hear... That's what Miss Foster said, just like the planet disappeared as well. So that all ties into the end. And I believe it's at, like, in the Shadow Proclamation in Stolen Earth. That's when the Doctor's like listing all the planets that are gone because you got to hear all these people say it. So it's a cool little thing as well.
Yeah.
And then, like, again, like, those scenes are really cool, but I think... I'm not sure about you, but, like, the whole scene where, like... Anything to do with, like, the fucking rock people, the Doctor's going out trying to find where this bloke lives, and it's like, this kind of, like, was dragging down the episode for me. I don't know if you feel differently, but...
I'm kind of mixed on it. Like, it's so weird. I enjoy the weird CGI rock boys. I don't know why. I just think they're kind of cool. There's this fucking great shot when they put water on it, and the CGI is really good, I think. And it, like... all of a sudden the tension like cuts and the fire burns out, it steams, and the rock just slowly fall down, and it dollies out and pans down to the floor as the rocks fall. That was a sick shot. I think they're quite intimidating, which is kind of cool. It's just I guess the fact that they're just like foot soldiers and stuff is kind of lame.
Yeah, the Doctor seems.
But then like later on when we get inside of Vesuvius, and there's like the giant fucker ones, like
yeah.
That shit is, again, it's okay, but for me, it's like, I kind of don't care about the origins of them. Like, the actual story that's there just isn't that engaging, especially because considering the whole way through the episode, you're just like, Pompeii, 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 I'm waiting for it. Like, they're obviously going to do the eruption, and you're just kind of waiting for it. And in the meantime, you get, like, a plot that is just, like, so unspecial and nothing new, you know? But it all leads up to a good point.
Oh, 100%. I totally agree with that. I always remember watching this, like I briefly mentioned last week, I watched this whole season with my family, and we would sit down every Sunday and watch it. And notoriously, like, my dad hates this episode. Again, he wouldn't remember it now. I literally would go upstairs after this and go, do you remember Fires of Pompeii? What the fuck are you talking about? But I remember watching it, and, like, he just hated it. And the episodes he hated from this season was like Fires of Pompeii, Science and Library, G-Parter. He fucking hated Midnight. I remember when Midnight ended, he said it's the worst episode Doctor Who ever watched, and I was like, holy shit. And they're all actually good. But I remember the scene that you just said then, where the rock boy gets killed because they chuck 2 buckets of water on it, which is kind of silly. I remember him being like, 2 buckets of water, is that it? And I was like,
yeah, it is very easy.
I was like, shit, kind of good point. I'm finding it hard to defend it here. So, what did you think of all the rock, like the whole rock arm thing? The rock is starting to grow. It reminded me of is it called Grailstone in Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Look, once again, to me, it's the boring side of the plot. Like, I don't know. I'm interested about the sisterhood and things like that, and how that ties in, and how the rock people kind of tie into that. But it's just the whole, like, them just wanting to go home. I don't know, because then you get like I don't really care too much for the bloke that's working for them. What's he called? I don't know what he's called. I don't know. Lucius? Is that him? Or is that the boy?
Yeah, either way.
Either way, yeah. Whoever this bloke is.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't really care for him and his, like, little electronic parts. They just look so out of place. I know they kind of meant to.
Yeah, literally.
doesn't fit the aesthetic at all, and it's jarring.
So,
jarring.
Yeah, so we have the scene now. So obviously Donna gets taken away when that whole scene happens with the rock band. Also, I think that made me laugh. Doctor Who does it so much, and it's just... I don't know why it always gets written in, but it's always like just to show that the enemy can kill people. There's a scene where like one of the mates is like, "It's one of the gods. Let me praise." And just gets like burned alive. Like, how many times are we gonna see some random ass character who has so like silly. No dialogue just get burnt alive?
It's great. It's part of it. It is.
Oh, it's so great. It's so great. So, and then we get again like. I love Catherine Tate so much, and I love Donna. She's one of my favorite companions, and even the little scene she's in where like she's just on that table about to be sacrificed, and she's like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And the Doctor just like he just waltzes in. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, "Oh hey, what's up?" He's like,
yeah.
It's like we're not on a clock here or anything, you know. It's volcano day, but he's just like scrolling in, like, "What's up, girls?" And she's like, "What's up?"
I think this episode does really well at showing like the range of this relationship. Like they've got the fun quirky moments like that, and when I'm Spartacus and Spartacus,
literally.
Like that shit's funny, but then obviously there's like they can also pull off this emotional weight between them, and to be able to really accomplish that 2 episodes in, it's a big deal. Like Martha only really, I mean, she got a small scene in Gridlock, but you only really feel for her sort of in the Scarecrow 2-part, A Family of Blood and Human Nature. That's right. Sort of the first time you get like massive emotional stakes for her. Whereas Donna, we got this technically 3 episodes into her run on the show.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, you know, I totally agree. And I think as well, like, it's a shame because I think, again, like we've said countless times, about the whole relationship, well, how Martha liked the Doctor, and it's so refreshing to hear, like, even when like Cornelius is like, "Oh, you're married," and they're like, "Oh, no, we're not married." That happens quite a lot throughout the season, which is always a funny joke. It always gets me because they're so good together, like David and Catherine. They're so good together, and then I laughed so hard when Pete was like, "Oh, your brothers and sisters look very alike," and I'm like, that sounded just like his Doctor, because that's something Pete's Doctor would 100% say. And I was like, oh, I can just see the Doctor, and I was like, shit, that's so cool.
There's lots of things. Yes. Lots of things he says in this episode where I'm like, that's my Pete. Literally, that's my boy.
Literally, it gets me so gassed to like watch his run again. Like, I texted you on the weekend, and I was like, I'm so excited to rewatch his final 2-parter, like Well Enough in Time and Dr. Falls. I'm so gassed to rewatch that. Fortunately, it's quite a while away, but still. Or probably in the year 2025 when we get to that. But it is what it is. So you'll have to wait. So what do you think of... I think it's a really cool design, actually. I can't remember. Isn't it called like a Paravore or something like that?
The Pyrovile.
Paravile, yes, that's
Pyrovile!
Yeah, literally. And it's like this hell dude, like... I'm like, bro, give me a break. But it's a really cool design, I think. Like, it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it's hell spooky.
It is very spooky.
That's what I mean. Like,
yeah.
I think what I like about like the Foot Soldier Rock Boys is like they're a cool design. They're right. It's just like they're not really utilized, I guess, is the main thing.
Yeah, I always thought as a young lad that they looked so cool, but were like really underutilized. They just didn't really do anything.
Yeah, totally.
What do you think of look, with the Paravile, if I'm saying that right, I think it's kind of okay, but later on it's used to fight the big rock boys. I think that's bullshit, and it is a funny gag. But when the Doctor pulls out the water pistol and starts squirting, and it's like because like, you know, it's like they're made of like hot rock. I just guess.
That
I can let slide. But then, again, there's just some stuff that's a bit silly, because, like, the Doctor's like, oh, go and open that thing, Donna, and we'll jump down. It's like, we're going into the volcano. It's like, really? What? It's like, hang on a minute. You just burned to death. You just literally burned to a crisp going into a volcano.
These boys should be dead.
Literally. But again, it's that it's that really fun chemistry that they have together, which is so great to watch. And again, you're right though. You're really right about the whole back to forth. Like even when they're like, you're right. They went from a scene of like just joking around with each other when the Doctor walks into the room to when they're walking towards the volcano. It's like, you know, Donna's still standing by the fact that we should tell everyone and get everyone out, which I think, again, it's the strongest part of this episode, and it just, the performances sell it completely. There's no doubt that you feel these characters and you understand their motives and all that. But yeah, it just becomes a bit of a CGI fuck fest, where it's just like there's all these levels of rock boys walking everywhere, and it's like, what the hell? And then there's that bloke, Hail Caesar, we'll call him, comes down and goes, "You won't stop me, Doctor. I'm gonna set up my things and blah blah dialogue." And you're like, I don't care. I just want to hear more about how the Doctor and Donna are gonna clash over the whole volcano thing.
Totally, yeah. I guess now we kind of get up to the bit where they lock themselves into the big rock spaceship thing.
A lot of rocks this episode. A lot of rocks.
A lot of rock boys. A lot of rock boys.
Should have been called Rocks of Pompeii.
Ah, Pompeii rocks.
Oh,
God. Or Pompeii blows.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Okay, bro. People died.
So yeah, no, they're inside the rock thing, the rock ship, and they're hanging out, and that's when, you know, you get the emotional stakes there. I couldn't help though, just be like, oh, I hate that Pompeii is the result of this alien thing. Like, I'd love it to like just happen to be happening at the same time. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, so you didn't like
as
that.
the eruption, because I want them to do the eruption 100%. That's what the episode's leading towards.
Right.
But like, and I love the decision he has to make, but it's just like, Pompeii's this massive Earth event. It's one of those things where I don't like it when the Doctor causes these big things in history to happen. I like it when he's there to maybe do what he can, help a couple of people. For example, like Rosa pulls it off so well where the Doctor just kind of helps history happen, but doesn't cause it. Ultimately, it's still Rosa's decision to do what she does, and she would only do that for being such the strong character and the strong, real human being that she is. I just don't like it when the Doctor intervenes too much. I know he kind of has to. Like, I don't know. What do you think about it?
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked it. I mean, I totally get your point, but also you're kind of right as well, because like, if you actually think about it, it really is quite dark. And I was thinking about it in the shower today, thinking about what I was going to say about it.
Just shower thoughts.
Literally, the shower thoughts. Best time to have thoughts. You think about it, it's really dark. It's like, I know it's not their fault, but when you think about it, you're like, well, shit, like that happened because of them. I can just see some like cringe Tumblr post where someone's like, I was in class today and someone said, "What caused Pompeii?" And I shouted, "The Doctor and Donna," and everyone looked at me like some dumb Tumblr post that you see. Like, I was in class today and the lights went out and I shouted, "Who turned out the lights?" and 3 people screamed. Those dumbass fucking Tumblr posts that I absolutely hate. I could just see someone saying some dumb shit like that and not enjoying the actual true meaning of the episode. But I do like how what I did like is that, I mean, I know it's not really acknowledged yet that the Doctor was behind the destruction of Gallifrey, but you can really tell that when he was holding the just holding the lever, that he was like, shit, like, this is it again. And I really love how Donna like put her hands on here so he didn't have to do it alone.
Yeah, it's really believable.
Yeah, it really, and it was so damn emotional. And then the one last thing I didn't like before I loved it from the one thing I didn't like, and then it was like everything I loved, but the one thing I didn't like just before all that was when the rock conveniently goes flying out of the volcano and lands in the center of Pompeii in the city, and you can just hear like David Tennant and Catherine Tate doing ADR going, "Ah!" and they do the classic 360 shot where it like turns around. They're going, whoa! I'm like, okay, I'll let that slide. But everything from there on out is so
amazing,
fucking emotional and powerful, and it's definitely one of the best things in Doctor Who.
Even just before we got into all the emotional stuff, when the rock lands, I think it looks really good. That CGI of the Ash coming and when they run.
Oh yeah,
that looks incredible. I couldn't believe it.
Oh yes,
I'd be satisfied with that in a New Who episode, like in an episode of season 13. You know,
it's very eerie, very like again the whole set very good. Design was brilliant in this episode.
But the one thing that I was like, "Fuck, why'd you do that?" is like it's like rule 1 when you're in school. It's like you once you see the ash from a volcano, you're fucked. Isn't that like the rule? Like you see that smoke, like you can't outrun it 'cause it's that fast. And it's coming at them so fast, but somehow they get to Pompeii and they get to fuck around at Pompeii for ages before they get out of there.
Right, yeah. Well, they just come flying out of the volcano in a rock, Aiden, so I think we can let a few things slide.
They did just destroy the big rock boys.
Yeah, literally. But yeah, I get your point. Yeah, and obviously there's also like the whole like, what did you just inhale? No, I'm sure down the road. That's a huge thing about fires and all this shit. Is like you can survive the It's like a lot of people who survived 9/11 died of cancer years later because of all the asbestos in the building. So it's like even the shit you're breathing in, like all the ash, it's like you can die from that as well. But yeah, the scene. That scene's so eerie, and when the sun gets covered and it becomes dark and the ash is all falling, and there's people just running around.
And we get all the stock footage of volcanoes and stuff.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, the scene, especially when, like, what hurt me the most is when Donna runs, like, she's screaming, like, don't go to the beach, don't go to the beach, don't go to the beach, run somewhere else. And you're like, everyone you're watching is like toast, like they're gone, and it's really it's really impactful, and especially when you get to see that child that's just crying by itself, and she goes to pick him up, and like he or she's mum grabs the child and is like I'll leave him alone, and then you see them running off in the direction of the beach, and you're like, holy fuck, that's like for Doctor Who, this is dark. Like they literally just said, yep, they are dead, they're gone.
Yeah, totally.
Ah, God, and the scene in the house is like when the Doctor like runs in, he looks at the family, he's like, no, and just runs into the TARDIS, and Donna stops, and it's like, this is some forget good Doctor Who, this is some fucking good television, like this is some damn good stuff.
And the scene that follows in the TARDIS as well is like really well performed, really well written, really well shot. I thought. The option to go for a bit more of a handheld look, which you don't usually get in the TARDIS. It's usually quite static, other than when they like twist the camera around when the TARDIS is like spiraling or something.
Oh yes.
So this is like handheld vibe, just like I really fucked with it. And you really felt like you could see on David's face, he's like, "There's like don't fucking make me do this." Like, And another thing about this scene and why it is really pivotal. I don't know if this is an intentional RTD scene, but for me, in the character of the 10th Doctor, this is where his downfall starts.
Okay.
He changes. Well, the argument's there of if he did change time or not, because he saved 4 people. Who knows if that was changing time or if that was always going to happen? But he went, and I guess he did change time. You know, saved 4 lives, and then from there, it's like I'm interested to see if there's maybe more hints from now on that he starts. You know, before the Waters of Mars, where he's like, the laws of time are mine, and they will obey me. Like, I'm interested to see if we see a bit from now onwards, a bit of a conversion into that. I just, I don't know. I just spotted it and thought it was cool.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge point for his Doctor. Like, you're right, because it even gets mentioned in Laws of Mars, because like he's like, it's like Pompeii, you know. It's a really good way of describing it.
True, yeah.
And he mentions, of course, again, which is a huge... Because I was always like, as a kid, I'm like, but why doesn't Doctor just go back to Gallifreyan? I'm sure it'll be fine. But every time he describes it, it's so... You can really understand why he can't, because he's like, don't you think... He's like, don't you see... don't you understand? If I could go back and save them, I would. So if I can't save them, I can't save these people. And boy, is it emotional. Totally. And then the whole scene where she's like, just save someone. And again, I can't say this enough. The performances from them both is so fucking good.
It's believable. So good. Heartbreaking.
It really is. It's really, really emotional. It's such a great scene.
Has Catherine Tate done anything of this caliber before this? Was she just a comedian?
I don't think so. And I love when actors break the mold of their break the typecasting, and they do a role that's different.
She fucked up the typecasting. She destroyed any possible typecast of what she was.
100%. And it also, did you think as well, it has huge parallels to what the Doctor does in Runaway Bride, where he let the Rachnos die, but he's like, fuck it, I don't care. And he's trying to have that mindset again, where he's like, I gotta go, I can't stop it, and I don't care. True. But he really does care, because he mentions at the end, he's like, you're right, I do need someone with me. And he's replying to what she said back in Runaway Bride, where she's like, you need someone. He says, no, I don't. And he's like, you're right, because especially, it's really David's Doctor, who's a lot more darker than I remember, because it's he really does push it, and he definitely needs someone to be there with him, because when there isn't, you get events like Wars of Mars, which is huge.
Oh, that's such a good point.
Yeah. Again, it's really well done.
When he finally is alone,
yeah,
that's when it all goes wrong in Wars of Mars. That's a really good point.
Yep. Yeah, literally.
Wowie.
But that scene, it's well. The lighting, the directing, the performance is the same. Oh, the Come With Me scene is so good. It's so good. It slaps. It goes so hard, and it's so emotional.
I had this awkward moment because I was watching it late last night, same time as Connor actually, but at our own houses. Yes, it was a coincidence. Right. But I put some food in the oven. And then it was going to be ready about halfway through the episode. And I hate pausing stuff halfway through the episode. And so I was like, all right, it's halfway through, so it'll be 25 minutes before, 25 minutes after. So it's not too bad. I can still sort of get invested before the emotional stuff. So I went, got my food out, and then I played that the next couple of minutes. Then my girlfriend called me. So I was on the phone to her for 10 minutes. And then I got back to the episode, and that was pretty much in the big rock ship scene when that was happening.
Okay.
So I think I slightly missed out. I was really enjoying it and really getting into it, but you take a bit to get back invested in. So I think I kind of lost the opportunity there to get as fully emotional as I could with it, because I was prepared to get fucked up by this ending. Didn't quite get me there, but I think that's my own viewing's fault. Yeah,
fair enough. Yeah, Yeah, like you, I try and watch it in one sitting. I always try and sit down with everything I need. Yesterday I sat down with my tea and my porridge, and I was like, I'm not leaving this damn couch until this is over. And again, I didn't anticipate enjoying it as much as I did. But yeah, of course, we had that beautiful scene, which I remember always got used in the BBC, the UK TV trailers when they did the Doctor Who marathons. They would always show that scene.
Yeah, Come With Me.
Oh, but it's so good, and it's so fucking well shot, and it looks so cool. You get goosebumps when you see that. That dolly
is so iconic.
It really is. It really is. It's so cool. It's so good. If this episode wasn't boggled down by some of that just uninteresting shit, it's just it's so good in places and just so boring in places. Yeah. But again, that final scene where you finally get to see Pompeii get destroyed. I couldn't help but think, and I know this is probably a bad thing to bring up, and maybe a little bit inappropriate, but have you ever heard of the, they found Pompeii. Did you see they found a body, a frozen rock body of a man who was masturbating?
No.
Yeah, they found like a bloke who was like, he was like jerking off when the volcano exploded, and he's frozen in that motion. I'm not even kidding.
Jesus Christ.
So I couldn't help but think that as this is happening, there is a man down there jerking off. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure that is true. I might, now I've said it, I feel like maybe it actually didn't happen. But
this 2,000-year-old masturbating Pompeii man is going viral.
Here you go.
Have you ever wondered what you'd do if the world was ending and you had minutes to live? Well, this guy appears to have one suggestion. This is the pose that our hero has laid in for about 2,000 years after being killed by an eruption of Mount Vesuvius, that is. He was an inhabitant of Pompeii, an ancient Roman city that was destroyed by a volcanic explosion in 79 AD. 2 millennia later, he is finding internet fame.
Yeah.
There's one here that says, he held on to the very end. Great man. But as Twitter goes into meltdown, science has to ask, did this guy really die masturbating?
Yeah, probably not. Yeah.
Of the 1,150 bodies recovered by archaeologists in Pompeii, 394 were killed by falling pumice and the debris of collapsing buildings. The remaining 756 victims were killed by cyclolastic surge. I'll act like I said that right. A column of superheated gas and ash released from the volcano, which travels at hundreds of miles an hour. It's highly unlikely that our protagonist actually died midway through some action. Yeah, so it's probably like a physical reaction or something that...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that is what I could think. That's all I could really think about when they had that shot of it going over Pompeii. I was like, he's out there somewhere in there, somewhere in that ash.
It is so like on a very, very more serious note about it. It is fucked up. Like it is.
100%. It's
fucking,
crazy.
Like tragic. Like just reading on like there's like 1,500 bodies have been found so far, but. You know, they found 2 like last month. Like they still find more people.
It's crazy.
Isn't there? How much have they found? Like of Pompeii? There's actually like heaps of it that they haven't explored. I was hell surprised when I found out the other day. I wonder if I can find that figure because it's just like so fucked up. It's fuck. It's like heartbreakingly cool that it is like. Such a big part of history and that it will always be remembered, like always.
Like the doctor says,
yeah. Even he says it, like you'll never be forgotten.
Yeah.
But that, oof, that what a horrible way to go. Like reading that about the gas, the hot gas that like killed insane. The majority of people. That's just fucked.
Yeah, it's really crazy, isn't it? I know.
Yeah.
Really makes you be grateful for what the life you got, you know. And so you should.
Yeah.
And that final scene was really nice. Well, the second last scene. And we get to see, like 6 months later, the family have actually moved to Rome, which is a cool throwback to the beginning of the episode. And, the family's obviously going really good. I love how Cornelius is like, you're not going out wearing that. And I'm like, you know what? That probably did happen. You know, people would say that. And you go, I guess times don't really change no matter what year you're in. It could have been 2,000 years ago. It could be today. Dads are still not happy with what their kids wear. And it's a bit silly and a bit dumb. But I do kind of like how the household gods are now the Doctor and Donna with the TARDIS.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I fucked with it.
It's a bit cheesy, but I kind of liked it.
Yeah, I just think it's kind of neat.
I just think it's neat. And that, Aiden,
that's it.
Is the curtain.
Dun 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 dun. That has been... Sorry, I'm literally just looking through pictures of Pompeii now just out of curiosity, and the masturbating man has just come up. Like, all I searched was Pompeii, and he's there.
I thought it was going to be hard to find, but clearly not.
Nope. He's there. He's having a good crack.
He always does.
Oh, fuck. That's tragic. I don't even want to... Oh, man. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm looking at some pictures now as well. It's actually really... Yeah, it's really sad.
It's so weird looking at like a photo of part of it that has like obviously for tourists, and there's like a big patch of bright green grass with sprinklers going off in the middle of it. Is like one of the main pictures on Wikipedia.
Yeah, I saw that.
It's just so weird that it's like kind of developed, I guess, developed enough to have sprinklers, big sprinklers. I don't know.
Yeah.
That is I feel like that's something like concentration camps are a bit more accessible. So more people have gone to them, and it's a really, I think, you grow from it, and you learn a lot about humanity. I think
I've never gone, but I know it kind of sounds bad. I say I'd love to go to one, but I would really just
totally
feel like you should just do it. But yeah, you've gone.
Yeah, I went to one in Austria in very early 2018, and yeah, it was a really heartbreaking experience. A blizzard came through when we were in there, so like there was this weird like beautiful sadness to it, where like everything just within the 2 hours that we were there became covered in white. You could only see like 2 or 3 meters in front of you. Like
that's crazy.
And going into the chambers was really fucked. And I feel like going to a place like Pompeii would have a similar amount of magnitude. And I think, I've not been there myself, but I seriously would encourage it just in terms of, I think you'd learn a lot and sympathize a lot. And seeing these big disasters is what makes me more interested in. This is kind of a weird thing. It makes me a little more interested in history. Like ever since I've been to quite a few World War II landmarks and spots, been to the Berlin Wall, been to some like massive monuments and stuff that were built in World War II. Ever since I did that a couple of years ago, I've been so much more interested in history now. And since then, the historical episodes of Who have interested me way more. Yeah, you just learn a lot, I think, about yourself even.
Yeah, it's a really good
Sorry, that was a weird...
No, it's fine.
A weird little detour.
That's fine. No, you're totally right. And also, like, it goes back to its educational roots in a way, because it's like, it was teaching children about this and that, you know?
Totally.
And I think that's definitely something that Chib notoriously said that he wanted to do. I don't think he's done a good job.
Yeah, he's done great with it so far, Chib.
Oh no, I don't think so. Nah, he's doing all right.
His historicals have been great.
No, Rosa was good. Nah, look, all right, I'm just being a twat. I do actually think his historicals were good. Yeah, that's true. I'll give you that.
I love Tesla.
Anyways,
so I move on to a bit more of a funner note.
Yes.
It's time, everybody. Let's get chirped up. Let's get more hyped.
Oh, yeah.
It's time for Australia's favourite segment, everybody. It's Goof of the Week! I have one goof myself this week, Connor. Do you have one?
No. I'm sorry, Aiden.
Okay.
I'm a goof this week.
I've got one, and TARDIS Wiki, as always, has our back and has a few on there as well. So the one that I spotted was when the Doctor, he's got the water gun and he shoots the the adult Pyrovile, the rock boy, basically. Mm-hmm. And there's like a top-down shot. I guess it's kind of meant to be from the big rock boy's point of view. And the water is like, you see the water like go up and down. Like it doesn't get anywhere near the big rock boy.
I see.
Yeah, it just looks really silly. It's just like a little squirt.
Yeah.
And so I saw that, and then next minute the big rock boy is like, oh! And I was like, you didn't even come fucking close to you. Just stomp on him.
He's just trying to get off work.
That's it.
That's it. That's it right there.
Anyways, a few from TARDIS Wiki here. Just before the Doctor finds out that everything with the gift... Wait, what? Sorry. I always suck when I have to start reading these. Just before the Doctor finds out that everyone with the gift is breathing Vesuvius, the Doctor's glasses fog up, but in the next shot, they're all clear. That's a small one. As the Doctor and Donna enter the TARDIS after watching the destruction of Pompeii from the hills, the front of the TARDIS is facing outward towards the city. In the very next shot, showing a wide view of the surroundings, the TARDIS has rotated, as shown by the sign on the door now facing approximately 90 degrees to the left. This is purely a CGI error, as the sound of the Doctor and Donna entering the TARDIS can be heard but not seen.
Right.
A major error is that once the Doctor breaks off Lucius Petrus Dextrus's right arm, he becomes wider. And is quite obvious, and it's quite obvious by that why can't I read? Dyslexia! He becomes wider, and it is quite obvious that that the actor's arm is strapped under his toga. There we go. We got there.
Right. Makes sense.
Yeah, and there's another one here. I don't know what it is, but it says the word "birds" or "birds" can be seen carved into the stone towards the end after the Doctor saved the family, more specifically when Evelina and Quintus are holding hands. I guess that's some kind of production error. I have no idea what it's talking about, but yeah, there's a few fun ones there, wasn't there?
Meh. It happens, Aiden. No show or movie is without them.
Never. Yeah, I think the Pextrus Dextrus thing was a little obvious with the arm thing, but hey, he just becomes a thick boy very quickly.
Good old thick lad.
I love me a thick lad. I love me a rock boy. On that note, shall we move on to Australia's second favourite segment?
Go on, son.
What time is it, Connor?
It is time for Behind the Scenes!
Behind the Scenes!
Wow, you actually let me say it this week. What the hell?
Yeah, I thought I'd give it to you. You know, let you have a bit of fun with it. You can fuck with it.
Thank you, sir. I do fuck with it.
Yeah, cool. So, yeah, some interesting stuff behind the scenes. It's actually really fucking cool what they did. But we'll get there. So the first thing is Russell originally wanted this episode in season 1. But instead it was replaced by Boomtown. And the idea was shelved for 3 years. The writer of the episode, James Moran, who recently did a tweet along for this episode a few months ago from memory, he wrote a film called Severance and an episode of Torchwood called Sleeper, which I remember quite enjoying. I think it's the ones that have like metal arms or something. They're like sleeper agents. I don't fucking remember. And so he was requested to write the episode because of his successful Torchwood episode. However, he had difficulty writing the episode and wrote the Doctor's line, the Doctor's first line, over 20 times. The Pyrovile also went through many names, from the Pyroviliaxians to the Pyrovillians, fucking whatever. Pyrovile, it is a good name, actually. Regardless of what the big rock boys do, it's a good name, I think. Well done. Well done, Moran.
It is.
Moran worked closely with Davies because of the constraints imposed by filming.
Good lad.
So I think Davies encouraged to have quite a few jokes involved in the episode from what I can read here. So one of the ones that he was encouraging was, I think Moran might have thought of this himself, but this is the kind of thing RTD wanted him to do, was sort of playing with people's names. So Lucius Pextrus Dextrus literally means Lucius Stone right arm.
Oh, God.
It's so silly. I love it. And a few of the characters that are in this episode are actually based off of some bit of history, whether it's from a book, I think. Interesting. The episode was heavily based on a moral question posed by to the Doctor by Donna, whether to warn the population of Pompeii or to rescue themselves from the situation. Moran also had to deal with the intensity and sensitivity required when writing about the eruption. Davies and Moran both appreciated Catherine Tate's performance and cited Donna's ability to humanize the Doctor and help him deal with lose-lose situations as the reason the Doctor travels with companions. Yeah, well, that's exactly what you were saying. That's what they're help him make the best choice he can when... I mean, even Pete says it, like, sometimes the only choices you have are bad ones, but you still have to choose.
Great quote, one of my favourites.
And the companions are always there to help him.
Yeah, that's true.
In this episode, we get a bunch of things to do with the story arc. I mean, you went through most of them before. We get another reference to the Shadow Proclamation, which has been hinted at a few times before. The Medusa Cascade, the Something on Your Back, she's returning. Moran also added continuity links independent of the story arc as a fun continuity thing. The script includes... Sorry, the fun continuity thing is a quote from him. That's what he said. So here's a really cool thing, actually. The script includes a scene in which the Doctor admits partial responsibility for the Great Fire of Rome. Not foam. Rome.
I was going to ask you about this. Is this like is this a throwback to a classic?
Yeah, so there's a 1965 serial called The Romans. I believe it's a William Hartnell story. I've not seen it, I'm afraid. But I think it ends with like the Great Fire of Rome starting or something like that. And he admits partial responsibility to it. Another thing here is that the sale of the TARDIS being referred to as modern art refers to the 1979 serial City of Death, which includes a scene in which the TARDIS is appraised in a similar fashion. So there you go. Yeah, and like you said, it doesn't say it on here, but like you said, there's also the planet disappearing, which is another lead up to the finale. So filming is where this episode gets really interesting. They actually went to Canetta Studios in Rome in September 2007 to film this. Like, that's fucking sick. And it shows, like, this episode honestly looks amazing, I think. I don't know. How often do they go to fucking Italy? They just usually go to Africa. That's it.
So, yeah, apparently this is the first time they actually left, like, the UK to film. I read somewhere.
Yeah, so they have done... I think City of Death, that one I mentioned before, they go to Paris. And obviously the TV movie was shot in Vancouver because it was hella Americanized. But, yeah, in New Who, definitely it was the first time that they've shot outside of the UK other than... them couple of shots in Daleks in Manhattan in New York where it was just like they sent like two boys and a camera over and just got a couple of shots. Yeah, I think the fact so this studio they shot at Rome, even though the Doctor Who has like a small budget, I think they just saw it as like a massive opportunity, and so they let them just pay like just whatever they could to use the studios just so they could like promote themselves. And it is awesome. Some fun, juicy goss.
And, we love the goss.
The job I do on sets a lot of the time, like I said, that I, being an AD, it's all about like scheduling and stuff. I would hate to fucking be doing this. I'm gonna just read it. So filming an episode abroad was suggested in 2004, but this episode was the first of such occasion. Planning began in April 2007 before Moran had written the script and continued until the production team travelled to Italy. Several weeks before filming started, a fire disrupted the production. That's the first thing. That throws all your fucking schedules off.
Jeez.
Moving to Rome caused problems for the production team. The equipment truck was delayed for several hours at the Swiss border, and the special effects team were delayed for 24 hours at customs in Calais, something, I don't know. I should probably know how to say that. So the production team only had 48 hours to film on location. Like, they must have just not slept, is my census. Like, that's all I could say. Like, I assume all the stuff with Pete and shit like that was all shot in the UK. I think it would be more the street stuff that they were shooting there. Yeah, the aftermath of the eruption was filmed on the same night as the location shots. To create the falling ash, the special effects team used a large mass of cork, so it's provided a constant supply of debris to rain down. There you go. There was some fun goss in that episode, I thought. Not in the Gareth Roberts kind of way, but just in the interesting behind-the-scenes story. I was reading a bit of like critical reception for the episode, and it was mostly mixed, and a lot of them are saying similar things to us, where it was like, you know, the backbone is the David Catherine stuff, but you get this kind of muddled alien story because Doctor Who has to have an alien story every week. Not saying that this episode would have worked if it was just they were stuck there on Volcano Day. Like, I think it did need something to push it forward, but this just felt a little convoluted. So someone, what did they say? It was like a really dumb review, and I couldn't believe what I was reading. What was it? So, oh no. Some people was criticizing Catherine Tate's acting.
Bruh.
And I was like, how can you... So, what the fuck are you on? Like, what drugs are you on while you can criticize that?
That's ridiculous.
This guy from News of the World said that Tate was almost bearable this week. That's people just seeing her as a comedian and being like, she's a comedian, so she can't act. And they're just going to go into it every week and they're just going to see that, you know?
Jesus Christ. These people. What is going on?
What is going on in the world? What is going on in the world? I enjoyed that the moral conundrum wasn't just sort of the end climax. Like, it was something they played with throughout the entire episode. So you had like an entire 45 minutes to think and breathe with all this stuff. That was great. Like you said, David and Tate just fucking absolutely nailed it throughout. And it's such a sharp contrast to the previous episode, I must say, as well, where they had a lot of fun. That's where I kind of think maybe I went a bit hard on Partners in Crime, because I kind of feel like these two episodes work hand in hand together to show what this season's going to be like.
Yeah.
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 I've been awake at night just thinking about how I gave Partners in Crime a 6.5 and
yeah, I enjoyed this more than Partners in Crime, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Which I never thought I'd say, but you know, here we are.
There you go, champ. There you go.
Let's go, champ.
Yeah, that's all my notes, I'm pretty sure.
Fantastic.
Absolutely.
I'm keen for dinner. I haven't eaten today.
Cool. Let's wrap things up here then.
Good lad.
Do you want to give us a ranking, my man?
Sure. I'm gonna be a little bit more lenient for this episode. I'm gonna give it a 7. I think it definitely deserves that. I just think it gets boggled down.
I didn't think you were gonna give it that high.
Neither did I. But you know, I just think that you know it gets bogged down by some really shit scenes. So I was like, cool, whatever. I'll just say this.
But I think it's one of those ones where the highs are so high,
yes,
that you like
completely,
yeah.
I can completely and utterly agree.
It's bizarre. It's a weird one. It's a fun one, and I'm gonna give it a 7.5 because I fucked with it big time. I always have enjoyed it, but I enjoyed it even more this time.
Very sweet.
Yeah, and I rattled on about it enough, so I don't need to give a proper recap there.
No, that's all good, man.
Oh, good, awesome. So yeah, next week we'll be coming in hot with Planet of the Ood, another episode. Well, no, I'm kind of doing a U next week where I never really liked Planet of the Ood that much.
I say,
but a lot of people really love it, so I'm really keen to get in there and fuck it up.
Yeah, I might watch it tonight. I don't know, because I can't watch it Tuesday or Wednesday, so I'm kind of keen to keep going with season 4. I said to Dan yesterday, I'm like, I can't believe how like I didn't remember how dark of a season 4 is if you think about it.
It's fucked, yeah. I know next season is kind of fucked as well. Next episode is kind of fucked as well.
Yeah.
Kind of dark.
Yes, 100%. So, what is it, Rusty? Alright, give me a minute, I'll let you out. Sorry, my cat's meowing at me, let him out. Very impatient.
I thought you were saying, what is it with Russell T?
No, not with Russell T. My cat, Rusty.
Must have been really dark this year, wasn't he?
Classic. Now my cat's meowing at me, let him out.
Bloody cat.
That's what you get for sleeping all day. Not letting him out now.
Classic Rusty.
Out the house, that is, because I can't.
Anyways, we'll leave it there.
To clarify, I let him out of my room. They're very loved cats. Yeah, go on.
You have to abuse your cat.
No, I don't. I love my cats. They're like my babies.
I know you do. I know. Cool, yeah, we'll leave it there for this week. Coming at us at Twitter, at 50Doctor. We love to chat with you on there.
Do it.
Connor loves it. Get Connor on Twitter, at Hannum Connor. Get me on Twitter, at Greenie_Pro. Connor on YouTube, at Connor Hannum. And Aiden, that's me, on YouTube, at Greenie Productions.
Oh, yes.
It's been an honor, Connor, as always.
Thank you, sir. I love you, Aiden. You're my close friend. I'm so glad we do this together.
Love you so much.
Oh, yeah.
And see you next week.
Thank you, sir. And I will see. All right,
wait.
Ready to do the outro?
We need to sing.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. I was just about to wrap it up.
Okay. All right, you ready?
We've done this. This is our 36th episode, and I forgot that we do this every fucking time.
36. Holy smokes.
Yeah, well, we were.
God damn.
Let's go, honey.
All right, you ready? And a 1,
I'm good.
and a 2, and a skiddly diddly do.
It's Aiden's and Connor's podcast.
The lag is hitting us hard today. It's hitting us hard today. Oh!
Doctor Who.
And the
Reviews.
Dalek.